10 of the best 70s muscle cars. The 1970s wasn't a vintage decade for sports cars in America, but there are American 70s muscle cars you can drive without looking like a down-on-his-luck gigolo. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, stopped shipping to the US from October 1973 to spring 1974, and the relatively short oil crisis had a lasting impact on the whole decade. At the same time, the public moved to smaller, more efficient cars. The angular, blocky design language of the decade hasn't aged well, either. It was the worst of times for muscle cars, but there were some diamonds in the rough of the US sports car world. 10. 1970 Chevy Nova. The first generation Chevy Nova was an Acuna box, but there are performance variants of this unloved small car that are truly mind-blowing. The cars of the 70s are boats by modern standards. This compact muscle car can just about slot into modern traffic, and it's still almost 5 meters long. The engine was downsized in the 70s from a 6.9-liter V8 down to a 5.7-liter mill. 9. 1973 Mercury Cougar XR7. The scalloped front end creates an Art Deco muscle car with the best of both the 60s and the 70s working in total harmony. A 370 horsepower V8 was the flagship, but those cars are rare, and you might have to make do with the small block 5.7-liter V8 examples that are out there for $15,000. 8. 1976 Plymouth Duster. Visually, the Plymouth Duster just kept reaching for the stars in the 1970s, while those around them embraced austerity. The two-door coupe is a classic 60s muscle car in profile, with some psychedelic 70s touches and the long bumpers that went with the new pedestrian protection laws. The performance models of this big old barge are the ones to go for. The 360 Duster came with a 225 horsepower engine that propelled the car to 60 miles per hour in 7.9 seconds. 7. Chevy Chevelle. The Chevelle was America's favorite mid-sized sedan. It was basically the white goods of the automotive world. The fastback SS was a different animal altogether. The basic Chevy Chevelle offered a V8 engine. It was nothing compared to the 360 horsepower LS5 V8 that sat up front in the range-topping SS. Chevy also offered a surprising option with the Chevelle. A 454 cubic inches crate engine designed for race cars that enthusiasts could just fit to their road car. It was labeled as a race engine. It was designed for 100 plus octane fuel, and a surprising amount of them have ended up in road cars. 6. 1970 Oldsmobile Cutlass. The car we actually dream about is the Oldsmobile 422. The muscular fastback is once again the pick of the bunch, but they all come with the 455 cubic inch V8, that's 7.5 liters in today's money, that pushes out 365 horsepower. This vintage muscle car will stop traffic wherever it goes, and the 4-speed manual adds another dimension to the old barge with 410 pounds-to-foot of torque. 5. 1971 Plymouth Cuda. Even in stock form, the Plymouth Barracuda was a potent car. The base 3.2-liter 6-cylinder engine pumped out 275 horsepower, and the range-topping V8 is a near ridiculous 425 horsepower, 7.2-liter Hemi. This engine was taken off the Cuda options list in the oil crisis, and the car actually got slower from 1972. There were two 6-cylinder engines, including the entry-level 3.2-liter, and 3 more desirable V8s that were offered. 4. 1979 Chevy Camaro. The 1979 Chevy Camaro Z28 is pretty much the epitome of excess, and it's wonderful. It's a poster child for the 70s with its bold design and unrivaled reputation. The 2+2 got a number of engine options, ranging from the 4.1-litre inline-6 to the 330 horsepower V8 in the Z28 Special. 3. 1971 Dodge Charger. The Charger is another one of those 70s muscle cars that slowly lost its soul as the decade progressed. It slowly devolved into a neutered sports sedan. Engines ranged from the entry-level 3.7-litre inline-6 through to the 7.2-litre V8. An old-school 4-speed manual gearbox is by far the best option, and just go for as much power as you can. The fastback coupe is the best looking. 2. 1974 Pontiac Firebird Trans Am. The 1974 Pontiac Trans Am gained a lot of weight due to the new regulations, and it was born at the height of the oil crisis. So, you could get a 100 horsepower version that just feels slow by today's standards. The 7.5-litre, 250 horsepower version is the one you really want, though. The lightweight Super Duty, meanwhile, is rare enough to command an outsized premium that only serious collectors will want to pay. 1. 1970 Ford Mustang Mach 1. The good news is that the early cars were a work of art. This is the first generation Ford Mustang, a curvaceous 60s design that just kept going. It comes with a performance package that includes an air scoop on the hood, a front splitter, and a wing on the rear. The 300 horsepower Mach 1 gets the 327 Cuda engine, otherwise known as the 5.8-litre. That works in harmony with the 4-speed automatic gearbox to pull this icon to 60 miles per hour in 8.3s, which, akin to its 122 mile per hour top speed, is not exactly great. Give us your thoughts on the list. Please comment on your favorite or one that should be on the list. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe.